What is up, everybody? Tuberverse here today, and we're going to talk about Dragons Dogma 2 and these ridiculous microtransactions. Now, this has been the talk of the town ever since this game released this weekend. People are talking about the microtransactions for this game. And if you want to follow along, this article is going to be from PCGamer.com as well. So, this image right here has been floating around everywhere. Apparently, there's a list of different microtransactions you can buy if you want to buy these in Dragons Dogma 2. But I think a lot of these are just convenience things. Like, most of these aren't like things you actually have to, they aren't game breaking or whatever. This is if you just want to say, hey, I don't want to spend time grinding for these different crystals or whatever. I just want to buy these, and there you go. So, but let's see. I think the more egregious one people were talking about was that you got a save file or whatever you got to pay extra for, which is kind of crazy. If you want another character, you apparently got to pay for that, which is probably the most egregious one. Which is like, once again, people are saying this is their game of the year. This game was highly rated, one of their game of the year contenders. But this whole microtransaction fiasco has kind of tainted this game, tainted the good graces of this game was getting. Because I believe the Steam reviews are kind of negative, mostly negative now at this point, because of all the negative reviews for the microtransactions fiasco. Which, once again, I would rather take microtransactions over people forcing these games to be live service, because that's definitely the industry. That's definitely the direction the industry is going, making these games live service games. So, microtransactions, it was like, I'll take that as the lesser of the two evils, to be honest. Like we've seen with the Days Gone, with the Ben Studio situation, where they aren't making Days Gone 2, but they're making a live service game. So I'm fine with the microtransactions as long as it's not to the point where we're sacrificing games to make live service games instead. So, let's see. So he says the one particular issue he has is the poorly named Art of Metamorphosis character editor. There's a perception from players of the game's one save only policy as to help drive up the sales of the Sting. While you can have your own opinions about the save files, the Art of Metamorphosis book itself costs about 500 Rift Crystals. That's a little expensive early on, but you can flush with RC eventually. So apparently this is something that you get like easier later on when you start playing a game, really, when you fully start playing a game. So it's not that big of a deal, but it is kind of annoying that you only have one save file. Like, really? We're paying for that extra? You gotta pay for that if you want that? That's just real stupid. Another two microtransactions that most people have a problem with is the Explorer's Camping Kit. Then you gotta purchase the DLC, makes it available in the game, and the Port Crystal, which our guy, he found a handful. Okay, so you get very little of these two items right here, which is, you gotta be super grindy to get these things, which people have an issue with. But hey, if you want to make it so much easier, you can just buy it, pay $1 or $2 more to buy it, or whatever. Which, that is kind of disgusting, in all honesty. Like, I get you want people to buy these games, but you charge for this stuff is kind of sketchy. Especially if this game is like a game of the year contender. People are saying they're having a blast with it. Like, other than this controversy, I'm not saying people saying the game was fun, they're having a blast with it, but that definitely kind of taints your reputation at this point. Like, this person states, Dragons Dogma 2 is going from game of the year contender to the 24 hours is sure something. Yeah. How do you go from game of the year contender to now this game is being avoided like the plague? The other says he refunded it. It's a shame to see this for performance across the board. I heard that's the issue too. But apparently the performance is not that great as well too, across all different platforms. Microtransactions and no ability to restart the game when you want. Meanwhile, some people will still defend microtransactions because they are optional. Yeah, it's kind of wild. Now, I can't even defend that nonsense. Now, I usually don't care about microtransactions if they're in games or not, but this one is kind of like they're being a little egregious with this microtransaction nonsense. Because like another friend was Devil May Cry, one of the most recent Devil May Cry games. They had a lot of microtransactions, but if you were just playing a game normally, they wouldn't even bother you. But this one is kind of egregious because it's like fast traveling, making another save file, making a new character, microtransactions. Like, that's kind of corny. Not good at all. The game runs like crap even on my RTX 4080 on desired resolution and settings. And when I'm down for playing something, I'll have to pay on an already paid single player game. Irony. Yeah, that's not good at all. bad performance issues and microtransactions. That's definitely a formula for ruining your game's reputation at that point. I don't know what games deserves a positive rating if it charges you money to recreate your character. That is kind of, to make another character you got to pay money. Why for a single player game at that? That is crazy. I might get this when there's a discount, because right now this sounds kind of crazy. They want you to pay for a single player game with stuff like pay extra for making different characters, different save files. That's gonna look kind of wild right there. I'm not gonna lie. This is no different than what's going on in Devil May Cry 5. No, Devil May Cry 5 was a great game. You completely ignore those microtransactions, but in this game, it's kind of annoying. Like, if you want to make another save file, fast travel, or whatever else, make a new character, you got to pay for it. Like, really? That's not the same thing right there. Another like-minded individual says, "Thankfully, I'm immune to FOMO. I'll get the game sometime down the road, and hopefully these issues are fixed." Yeah. Because the game being wonky on all platforms is not a good thing. So I can definitely wait as well too at that point. Wait till they fix all the errors and kinks out. Then hopefully the microtransaction situation ain't that big of a deal or whatever. So it's most likely that Capcom forced them to have some sort of microtransactions since it's in all their games. It was the same thing with Devil May Cry 5, and the orbs just need to play the game. It's kind of ugly. Pretty sure people will forget about the issues, though, once the performance has been improved with a few patches. Nobody gave a crap with Resident Evil 4 either. The Resident Evil 4, I think they did microtransactions in Resident Evil 4 that I'm thinking about. I think they did. I think it was a slight controversy, but this is Resident Evil 4, and nobody really brought up like that, so that's kind of the only game that gets a pass, but yeah, their games seem to all have microtransactions, but it's like only a few games people actually make a fuss about, but the rest of them they get a pass, I guess. Quite the turnaround. At least it killed the FOMO. Yeah, I'm definitely not in a rush to buy this game right away. No buy for me, and I played the first one plus Dark Arisen all the way through. There's just no excuse for this in a single player game. It is embarrassing. Yeah, so their fans are not happy with this. Not too happy. Scummy microtransactions, broken FPS, second on a price tag, and they charge you more. I forgot about that $10 increase as well for this one. Not a good look. They're trying to defend Capcom by saying, hey, microtransactions aren't that bad, but this is not a good look. This is not a good look at all. Oh. This can't be real. Charging for fast travel. Yeah, that is kind of scumbaggish. Why were you paying for fast travel now? Like, really? That is like... yeah, Capcom is crazy. Yeah, Capcom is... Yeah, they're delusional at this point. And you had so much good PR for the past, like, few games. Like Resident Evil 4... Street Fighter 6, which is doing well. Like, a lot of your games are doing extremely well. Why do you make a game like this and just tank all that good PR with this nonsense? Charging for fast travel is just ridiculous. Charging for a different save file. Charging for making a new character is just abysmal. That is disgusting right there. It's like, no matter how game is good, no matter how great this game is, that still taints it. You gotta pay for microtransactions for the most ridiculous stuff. Dragons Dogma, more like Dragons Dogma microtransactions. Okay. I haven't booted this up, but I may have to refund it then. I'm not paying sales to have to pay microtransactions also. Pick one. Yeah. And I'm usually a person who says I don't care microtransactions, but this one's kind of egregious with these ones in this game. Like, this kind of just nickel and diamond at that point, like these states. Games like this deserve the piracy. People are talking about selling the 7Cs for this game. I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with that option either. I just say hey, wait till it drops down to a point you're comfortable with. You want to pay full price, I get you, but I don't know what to selling the whole 7Cs option either. Like that's kind of, I don't know. I don't agree with that either. Hey, like if people do keep doing a comparison with Devil May Cry 5, like buying orbs, well, that's completely different. Like that's not like starting a new character, fast traveling. Like if you buy orbs, who cares at the end of the day? It's not that big of a deal. But this is a completely different situation right here. Charging players to revive characters. Wow. Oh, was that? Oh, there is one that revives the characters. You got to pay for that. That is just stupid. Like this guy says, this is shameless. There's no wonder why the game has mostly negative reviews. Disgusting. Yeah. Capcom do better. This is just sad. Like this is some between all the Sweet Baby Ink stuff that was brought up for like the past few weeks, and this has to be. I say this is worse than what this whole Sweet Baby Ink controversy that was having the past few weeks. This is way worse because they're charging you for the most minute like stuff that should be in video games off the rip. Then again, we had who was it? Sega doing something else to the same extent, making you pay for DLC to make a new game plus and the new Yakuza game. Like, geez, you guys are just like just doing crazy. These companies are just doing crazy stuff to make people want to pay extra on top of selling on a price point. It's just sad, but yeah, I'm gonna conclude it right here. People are pissed, rightfully so. I just say, hey, probably don't buy the game right away. I don't know. I can't recommend buying this game right away if it has all these different egregious microtransactions. The game doesn't run that great on different platforms right now. I think this might be a game just to wait for. But I heard the game is really good, so that's the one thing about it. So if you wait a few months, few weeks, few months, you might get a great game at a cheaper price. Until then, Capcom, do better. Stop making these ridiculous microtransactions that shouldn't be in the game to begin with. So, especially if you're charging $70 for this game, it's like do better at this end of the day. So, definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like if you like this video, and as always, thanks for watching and peace.